Hi there. Welcome to the course, Date Several Women Simultaneously, No Hiding, No Drama. In this course, and in this lesson, and over the next 3 lessons in this course, I'm going to walk you through the exact procedure, the exact process that will allow you to date a woman seriously, dating, casual, girlfriend, or married, any one of these, where you can date and have sex with her, date and have sex with other women. All the women know what you're doing, and they all keep dating you and having sex with you anyway, long term. And they don't scream and yell and bitch at you about it. It's low drama and long term. If this sounds kind of insane, I have been doing this since 2007. So that's about, almost 20 years now. I have been teaching men how to do this since 2009. My name is Caleb Jones, if you don't know who I am, and I have written 7 books on this topic, thousands of articles on this topic. I've done thousands of videos on this topic. I have taught literally thousands upon thousands of men in the Alpha Male 2.0 world how to do this since 2009. This is a very doable goal for you, and I know it sounds crazy, but I've been living this, and thousands of people following this material are living this model right now. And even better, once you master these techniques, the techniques you're going to learn in this lesson and over the next 3, a total of 4 lessons, your odds of success of making this work, assuming you start from the very beginning of the relationship and do this from the beginning. Now, if you're starting from a monogamous relationship and you're trying to convert it, that's different. I'll cover that in a second. But if you start from the very beginning of the interaction with this woman or women, your odds of success, if she's under the age of 33, are 90% plus. 90% odds of success. Rarely does this not work. Now, if she's over the age of 33, your odds of success drop a little bit. They drop to about 65 to 70%, depending on several factors. So this is a little more difficult with women over the age of 33, but I have been with numerous women over the age of 33 under this model, and it works fine. Cool? Now, before we get started with the specific techniques, we need to clarify a few things. These techniques assume that you begin these techniques as soon as you meet her in some kind of dating context. What I'm not going to cover in this course is if you already are monogamous, which means you've promised her you won't have sex with other women. That's what monogamy means, even if you're cheating. That's monogamy in quotes. If you start from the beginning, that's what this course assumes. Now, if you're trying to convert a relationship where it's already monogamous, you're trying to get her to, well, now that I've been monogamous for 2 years, now will you let me start having sex with other women? That is something different. That is called a relationship conversion. And you can contact me. We have plenty of resources, books, courses, mini courses on how to do that. That's a topic for another time. That's not the topic of this particular course. This course assumes that you're meeting her from the very get-go and following this process. This is also not a course on how to get laid. Now, I have lots of other material on that, and there's lots of material online you can follow. You can follow my stuff, or you can follow other people's stuff. There's lots of dating coaches out there. So that's not what this course is about. This is only focused on getting women to allow you to sleep with other women while you're sleeping with them long-term, no drama, no lying, no cheating. Cool? That all makes sense? Great. Okay. So there are 4 phases to this process. And we're going to cover the first phase in this training. And in the next few lessons, we'll cover the different phases. So phase 1, when you first meet a woman in a dating context, and it doesn't, by the way, it doesn't matter how you meet her. It could be online dating. It could be night game where you meet women at bars and clubs. It could be social circle where you meet her through your other friends, meet her through your work or through people through your family. It could be day game, meeting women during the day. It could be night game, meeting women at night. Excuse me. It could even be, it could even be things like sugar daddy game if that's your thing. It doesn't matter how you meet her in a dating context. This will work as long as you follow this process. Now, this begins at the very first time you meet her, the very first date. And it goes for the first 2 weeks after you start having sex with her, okay? This first phase is called the EFA phase. What does EFA stand for? EFA stands for Early Frame Announcement. Early frame announcement, excuse me, is what you convey to a woman in a dating scenario, non-verbally and verbally, on the type of man you are and the type of man you are not. So for example, If I'm on a first date with a girl and I'm leaning forward and I'm nodding to everything she says, oh, uh-huh, mm-hmm, oh, and I'm complimenting how pretty, oh, you're so pretty. Oh my gosh, and you're talking about, we could get married, and if we got married and had kids, and then you talk about your job. I have a really good job at Microsoft, and I make $120,000 a year, and okay, so what is your EFA if you're acting like that? Your EFA is that of a needy provider boyfriend candidate, right? You sound like a kind of guy who wants to marry her up and be the typical beta male boyfriend. This is bad because if you do this, she will expect monogamy. So later, if you act like a boyfriend and later you say, I want to have sex with other girls, it's not going to work. You have to start this process from the beginning, right? Now, let me give you the opposite EFA. There's many EFAs. These aren't the only two. But let me give you a very different one. You're dressed in a cool black leather jacket and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty awesome. Yeah, and you're checking your phone and oh, that waitress, she's pretty hot. Yeah. And you're talking about how cool you are in your cool car, and yeah, and you're running a bunch of pickup artist-y game on her. Yeah. Now, what is that EFA? That's the EFA of a player. Now, do women fuck players? Yes, they do. Do women date players long term? No, they do not. So if your EFA is that of a player, what's going to happen is you might have sex there once, and then you'll never see her again. A lot of my friends are pickup artists or ex-pickup artists. I used to be a pickup artist back in the day. It's where I came from. And a lot of these guys, over the years, have told me, I could get laid, but then, the next day she ghosts me. Yeah, because you're too much of a player. Your EFA was too playerish. Make sense? So your EFA, starting from the very first time you meet her all the way for the first 2-3 weeks of the interaction of the relationship, is that of what I call alpha male 2.0. That means you are confident. You are outcome independent, which means you don't care if you ever see her ever again. You're nice and polite. You're not an asshole. You're not saying, well, whatever, bitch. You're not that. But she can tell through your body language, through what you say, your tone of voice, things like that, is you're a nice guy and you're polite to her and you're nice to her, but you do not give a shit if you ever see her again. Right? And your EFA is that of someone who dates other women besides her. You're not a player. You're not like, oh yeah, I've banged 200 bitches. You're not that. She can tell those first 2 weeks, this guy's probably has some other women. Or this guy's probably seeing some other women, or something's going on with this guy. Whereas Mr. Beta Male Nerd Boyfriend, she knows she is the only woman on your radar. She doesn't have to worry about other guys, so she assumes monogamy from the beginning. And that's what most men do. Most guys, and probably you, your EFA is going to lean more toward the beta male provider, boyfriendy guy, right? The desperate guy who wants a girlfriend and because he hasn't had sex in 8 months, and or he's jerking off the porn all the time, and so he's acting really obedient and really nice, and okay, I don't want to screw this up. So she's going to assume a monogamous frame, early frame announcement, a monogamous frame for the very beginning. So that means if later you attempt to have sex with other women, her head's going to explode because you presented her with one picture and then you're doing a 180 several weeks into the relationship. Doesn't work. So your EFA, your early frame announcement, your frame is not of a beta male boyfriend guy. It's not of a nerdy dorky guy. It's also not of a cool Andrew Tate, Fonzie, whatever term you want to use based on how old you are, cool player dude either. Because she's not going to date the player dude long term. We're looking for long-term women. It's something in between. What I call this the 85-15. So if on one scale you have beta male provider who wants to get married immediately and does whatever she says, okay? And the other side, the other end of the scale, you have super player pickup artist guy, super cool, good-looking player guy. What you want to be is about here. 85% player, 15% provider. So you are player-ish, but you're not a player. When I go on a first date with a woman, and I have been on hundreds of first dates over the past 20 years, okay? I've lived this lifestyle for a long time. They can tell I'm not a beta male pussy, I'm not needy, I'm confident, I don't care, I'm a nice guy. They can tell I'm sexually experienced just the way I talk. They can tell I'm probably seeing other women. They can tell. But I'm not a total player. I talk about things like I have 2 kids and I love my children. That's a provider-ish thingy. And I'll mention things like I've had the same phone number for about 30 years, which is true. So I have some stability. So I have some player aspect, but some stability aspects. And then as she starts seeing me, I'm going to continue to be this man who is the non-monogamous, nice alpha male. The alpha male 2.0, unlike the alpha male 1.0, we're the nice alphas. We're not angry with women. We're not angry black pill or red pill guys. We're not trying to be cool like Andrew Tate and show off our cigars and our six packs. We're nice guys. We're nice alphas, but we are alpha males. So she has that expectation of us. Okay? So those first 2 weeks is the EFA phase. You need to act like a guy who is not a pussy, not a beta, but also not a player. Something in between. Confident, cool guy. There's probably some other women around. You're not going to say it, but you're going to act like it. And you're not super needy, but there's some long-term providery aspects to your frame. Make sense? Real simple. And this goes for about 2 weeks or so until we convert into the next phase, which I will cover in the next lesson in this course.